My name is Natalia Swalnick. I'm the Director of Electric Vehicle and Smart Mobility Programs for the Electrification Coalition. Well, California is arguably one of the most EV-ready markets in the world, and one of the premier pieces of legislation is the Evs state mandate, which is the zero emissions vehicle. In July 2018, the Electrification Coalition released a report called the Evs Scorecard, and what we did in that report was rank all of the Evs states. And California is in the Tier 1 market for all of the Evs states, and this is notably because of the infrastructure development, the incentives that are offered, and finally the encouragement of the utilities to participate in the space. The Electrification Coalition has pioneered the EV accelerator model, which is going into a concentrated geographic area and working with all of the stakeholders to advance every segment of the electric vehicle market. So working with workplaces to make sure that employees have access to workplace charging, because they're 6 times more likely to purchase an electric vehicle if they have access to charging at work. The electrification of fleets, because those are really low-hanging fruit. With one decision maker, you can make a large impact in electrifying vehicles. The build-out of the charging station network is also key. The Electrification Coalition is also working with automakers to encourage a higher inventory and greater variety of models in the electric vehicle market as part of these accelerator communities. 80 to 90% of electric vehicle drivers are going to have access to charging either at their home or at their workplace, which again underscores the importance of workplace charging, because people who have access to workplace charging are 6 times more likely to purchase an electric vehicle than those who do not. However, for the other 20% of drivers who maybe work from home, live in an apartment building where they don't have access to EV charging, that is where the public network becomes really important. And so instead of range anxiety, we like to call it range uncertainty, because as soon as people buy an electric vehicle, they really find a way to work within the system to get the experience and the opportunities to charge as needed. As more power is available at charging stations, what we'll see is more vehicles coming online that can really accommodate that level of power in their charge. Cities should be focusing on policies that are going to make their communities EV ready. And they should also be looking at how can managed DC fast charging take advantage of cleaner and less expensive technologies. Cities should also be thinking about how electrification can be used as a full system, so not just light duty vehicles, but also with medium and heavy duty vehicles and as a major piece of their mass transit. Because we're so early on, it can be hard to measure the impacts of this sort of emerging piece of the electric vehicle industry, but testing is already underway, and if these technologies can be proven to lower the cost and lower the demands on those peak load days, it's hard to imagine that the market wouldn't move in that direction. One of the best tools that we have in the electric vehicle industry is the tool of the ride and drive, where we give people the opportunity to get behind the wheel and experience the thrill of driving electric for themselves. And we imagine that that experience will also translate to autonomous vehicles. Other things that could be useful in speeding up the development of this market are going to be pilot programs where people have the opportunity to participate and get to know and get familiar and comfortable with autonomous vehicles, and also incentives that are going to sunset. So putting incentives in place that are going to help bolster the market for now, but once it's ready to stand on its own 4 wheels, they'll move out.